The gambling industry in South Africa generates significant revenue through various forms such as casinos, lotteries, sports betting, as well as horse racing. Its impact on the South African economy is a multifaceted topic with both positive and negative aspects. To help us unpack this further, I am joined now by Dr. Thabo Mogotlane from the South African Society of Psychiatrists. Dr. Mogotlane, good to have you on the program this afternoon. Firstly, considering the economic challenges facing many South Africans, why do you think sports betting has emerged as a thriving industry despite the overall downturn?
Thank you so much. It's mainly because of the current circumstances in the country, and also which was made worse by COVID. Looking at unemployment, it makes it worse because, if you are unemployed, betting looks like an opportunity for one to make money, a potential for quick gain. And also because of cultural factors in our setting, we don't necessarily have strict regulations like in other countries. So, and on top of that, easy accessibility. Each and every person owns a cell phone now, which makes it easy for betting. So those are some of the factors. And again, hope for a better future and hope for a better life. Those are some of the things that are contributing.
So in light of the societal implications that you've also mentioned, what are your thoughts on the role of sports betting advertisements in normalizing gambling behavior, particularly among vulnerable populations?
It's a major a problem because they create a perception that is socially acceptable and potentially lucrative, especially to those individuals who are at high risk of developing addiction. There's some people who are born with those genes who are already at risk for developing addiction. It also poses a risk to those individuals who are struggling financially. So those are some of the challenges. So it's important for regulations to be implemented in order to prevent harm. So especially in our setting in South Africa, there's a need for strict regulations and education to the community and to the public in general.
So for many individuals, sports betting also serves as a means to meet, call it lumpy expenditures rather than purely for entertainment. How can this behavior be addressed from a societal and policy standpoint?
It's important, especially like any other mental disorder, any other discussion under mental health care. Education is everything. We need to educate the community. There is a need for public awareness campaigns, educational programs we can also integrate in our education. It's always best to teach people when they are still young. So it's something that we can also integrate in our educational program. Also, community outreach is a vital thing, and of which we don't see it happening, especially in this area of discussion. Regulations and licensing, we require strict regulations around that area. And again, also, we also need the regulation when it comes to limits on betting. We need the regulations when it comes to age restriction. You can imagine young children now, as we are speaking, they own cell phones. Those cell phones, they are not regulated. They have free internet, so they can easily access. So you can imagine what will happen later. Remember this, we are talking about the future of the country. So it becomes a problem. So we need strict regulation when it comes to that. We also need the research and monitoring, promoting research around this area of discussion. We also need monitoring. We need to educate people in the industry of gambling because they are always exposed to be there to identify risky behavior, risky gambling, so that we can pick it up early. And I mean, there are structures which can help. There are resources to identify and subject that individual to those resources so that they can get early help. That way is the only way we can win this problem.
So, Dr. Mogotlane, given your expertise in psychiatry, I want you to shed more light on the potential psychological impacts of widespread sports betting, especially of those who may develop gambling addictions as well.
Yes. It becomes a major problem in psychiatry, like any other psychiatric condition. Now, gambling it was introduced early in the 1980s. Before it was termed pathological gambling. Later it evolved to become a gambling addiction or a gambling addictive disorder. But it's a major problem because it comes with other psychiatric problems. It comes with anxiety as a major problem. It comes with depressive disorders as a major problem. It comes with pathological stress as a major problem. And it has also been identified to have cognitive distortions, like cognitive errors. You always have a thought that I will win. So you end up chasing the losses with the hope that you will win. And it has also been linked to have some of the comorbidities or other underlying psychiatric disorders like substance abuse, highly comorbid with alcohol use disorder. So hence we say it's a major problem. And even when you manage it, you don't only manage gambling disorder as a problem, you also manage the underlying comorbidities or underlying comorbid psychiatric disorders.
So there are also suggestions that sports betting is often the only source of liquidity for the unbanked South Africans. What systematic changes do you believe are also necessary to provide alternative financial solutions for this demographic?
We actually need to go back and also to target communities of low income, like implement things like community-based financial institutions. That will make a major difference. Support the development of community-based financial institutions. Examples, savings accounts at that level, affordable loans at that level, financial education and financial literacy. It's a major thing, especially at that level, at the community level. And also we need to develop government policies that will support communities at that level so that people do not identify betting and gambling as a solution to their problem. And also education about investment in infrastructure. Those are some of the things that we can do to mitigate the problem. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time. That was Dr. Thabo Mogotlane. He's from the SA Society of Psychiatrists.